This summer went by so fast, I honestly wasn't ready to let it go. But the Quiksilver Festival turned it into a celebration. Around the same time, I got back into surf coaching, decided to invest more into my surf progression, and joined an all-girls Surfskate session, well, except for our coach. It had been a long time since my last coaching session. I actually didn't do any this summer, and since I've transitioned less than a year ago to this 6'1" shortboard, I wanted to have Nico's opinion on the board itself and also on how my surfing also is evolving with this board. Surf coaching, especially I filmed on, is always my reality check on where my surfing is. Sometimes I imagine myself doing crazy things in the water. Then I see the footage, and yeah, it can be a little depressing sometimes. But with Nico's analysis and his spot-on advice, it pushes me to evolve my skills and keep me motivated for progress. This session was a tricky one. Surfing small waves with a shortboard is still tough for me. It's actually less forgiving, and if I'm not angling, for instance, my takeoff right and tapping into the power zones of the wave, I just lost speed and sink. So it was a good challenge, and I picked up learning bits I'm still practicing right now. Oh, and Nico's son is Ethan Fernandez. He is already a rising star. You'll see the difference in these clips. After that surf coaching session, I felt motivated to continue working on my progression, and this time through Surfskate. So not long after, I booked Surfskate coaching. And it happened to fall on the same day the Quiksilver Festival was starting around here in Les Landes. So around Hossegor, Capbreton, and also Seignosse. So before heading to the session, I've stopped by to check out the festival vibe on the beach. There were actually some heats going on.
2025 Quiksilver Festival, 3e année. Come on, ce soir.
They're actually announcing the opening party for tonight. A drop of temperature and a bit of rain were expected, so it felt like a great way to celebrate the end of the summer season here. But before that, let's go to the Surfskate session. It ended up actually being an all-girls class. Yeah, except our coach, Nino. The energy is usually more supportive and honestly a lot of fun. What I love about Surfskate is that it lets me practice the movement I want to do in the water over and over again in the exact same conditions. In the ocean, no two waves are ever the same, and you're thinking about so many things. Positioning, catching the waves, who's got priority. But on land, I can only focus on the turns, and it really helps me understand the mechanics better. I feel like it's necessary and totally complementary to work on your surfing in the water, but also on land. If you're liking this content so far, consider subscribing. I will be sharing more of my experience around surfing and my surf progression. So later that night, I joined some friends to the opening party. The vibe was amazing. Music, lights, everyone's ready to kick off the festival. Then it started to rain, but as I said before, it was expected, nothing to worry about. Last year's opening was rainy too. So with my friends, we headed to a bar nearby for a drink while waiting for it to slow down a bit. Half an hour later, we came back out. The rain was pouring and they were already packing the gears on the stage. Funny enough, that day really showed the transition between the summer season and autumn. It started with like 30 degrees on the beach and ended up with a really rainy night. The temperature dropped to like 15 degrees or something like that. The party stopped there, but it was only the beginning of the festival. Over the next days, there was so much going on. The competition was actually on hold for a couple of days because of the weather, but picked up again afterwards. I would have loved to watch more, especially the women. There weren't many, But because of my work schedule, I wasn't able to get back and watch other heats. So I mostly went to the evening events or the ones that happened on the weekend. There was a movie screening with music and people gathering, even though the weather had turned really cold that night. At the board riders shop, they hosted another party. Such a fun vibe. Being around the shop is always a dangerous zone of temptation for me. And for the final day, there was a skate contest. Skaters were pulling crazy tricks. Finally, the closing party wrapped up the whole week. It really felt like the whole area came alive for the festival. For me, this week really marked the season shift from summer vibe to autumn, and from just enjoying the easy summer waves to a new commitment into my surf progression. Between surf coaching, Surfskate, and the Quiksilver Festival, it was an immersive dive into the surf world and the lifestyle that I've built my life around. Now it's the time to carry that motivation into the colder months ahead.